Hi, everyone. Welcome to Highly Strange Daze on the Power Network. I'm Amy, and riding shotgun tonight is Shannon. We're talking about Lorraine Warren's haunted house and occult museum, just bought by comedian Matt Rife, which means Annabelle has a brand new guardian. We'll get into how the local community is reacting, who Matt Rife really is, the haunted objects inside the museum, and I've even got clips from my 2009 ParaWomen Radio interview with Lorraine Warren herself. So stick around. I'm rolling credits while the rest of the Highly Strange Day crew rolls in. Shout out to our Dragonflies. We love you. Hey, I have a question though. Would you want Annabelle hanging out in the basement of your house?
Strange Days. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
My neighbor Jennifer sits all alone. She dreams of flying up to the moon. And she thinks it's the perfect night for dreaming. And
Looks like it's the perfect night to talk about Annabelle the doll again. Seems like this has been a big topic on Highly Strange Days lately. But we've got more Annabelle for you tonight. But before we get started with all that, if we could just start that algorithm dance party that I like to do and just start warming up your fingers and dancing them right up to the hearts and thumbs up button. Helps us go out into the algorithm and party out there. It's a free way to help us out, and it's really, really appreciated. And tonight we do have a sponsor. Most deodorants are just landfill fodder, but Wild, totally refillable, zero waste, and comes in cases so cute you'll actually want to put them on display. No single-use plastic every month. It's one of my favorite things about this. You just pop in a new refill and you're good to go. It's good for the planet and it looks good too. You can grab yours. We've got a 20% off your first order discount, and I will put the link for that down in the show notes over on YouTube. Everything that we watch today or talk about you can find it over in the YouTube show notes. And yeah, any support you can give us is greatly appreciated. And I see Shannon is here, so let me bring Shannon on. Hey, Shannon, how are you?
Hey, Amy, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this tonight.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited.
Yeah, we've been talking about it in private chat all day long. I thought we'd start off just for those. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows, but for those that don't know, who were Ed and Lorraine Warren and what's their museum? Ed and Lorraine Warren were prominent figures in the paranormal field, particularly known for their investigation into alleged hauntings and demonic possessions. They gained notoriety for their involvement in several well-known cases, including the Amityville haunting and the Enfield. Something happened.
What?
Do you have something on in the back?
I do not.
Okay, well, you're going to have to leave and come back because something changed, and that's the only way I can fix it when this happens. So I'll just keep reading about it, and then you can just leave and come back, and I'll bring you back up. So Ed and Lorraine Warren, they gained notoriety, and like we said, the Amityville haunting and the Enfield poltergeist cases, they became the inspiration for the popular The Conjuring movie series. And the Warrens have an occult museum and they established the Warren Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, which houses a collection of artifacts and objects allegedly related to their investigation into paranormal phenomenon. And they believe that keeping it down in the basement prevents these paranormal objects from getting out. So we're going to be talking about those, but we have like a little blast from the past, because way back on March 9th, 2009, before The Conjuring, before 28 Days Haunted, before all of that, we had Lorraine Warren on our show. She, the late noted demonologist and psychic Lorraine Warren, she joined ParaWomen Radio. And so I thought we would play some of the interview, and then we would go into the actual location of the museum and how everyone's feeling about it, and then actually talk about the artifacts that are some of the artifacts that are in the museum. So
That sounds fantastic.
awesome. Let me get this up on the screen.
I'm excited to hear this. It's been so long.
It has been so long, hasn't it? I re-edited it and put it up on the page a few years ago, but it's been a while since I've listened to it too.
Welcome to ParaWomen Radio, Mrs. Warren. I'm Amy, and with me I have Beverly the Gothic Gourmet.
Hey, I have a question for you. I called her Mrs. Warren, and she was a widow at that point. I've always wondered, was that wrong? Did I get the wrong Mrs. Warren? What do you call somebody when they're a widow?
Most like to be called Mrs. still, because they're not divorced. They didn't choose to be separated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Because that's always like, every time I hear this, I'm like, did I say the wrong one? Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. What a nice introduction.
We are so thrilled to have you on.
Thank you.
You know, Lorraine,
so much.
Before we start, I don't know if you had an opportunity to hear the beginning of the show, but Amy has been absolutely just overwhelmed to have you on the show. And I know this because we've been talking about it for the whole week. And we're both honored, but she is just a buzz.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I've said this before. I'm
Really outing me like that.
Good old Beverly.
For those that don't know, Beverly was a co-host. She was Beverly the Gothic Gourmet. I think she's still out. I'm still Facebook friends with her, but she's more into theater now. But she had her own store, and she did things with food. So yeah, she's very interesting.
Yes, she sent me a gin and Titanic. Gin and Titanic.
I did that. I bought it for you and sent it to you.
You did? You bought it from her and sent it to me? She didn't tell me it was from you. Oh, Amy, I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, I think she probably did, because I think I got it for a birthday present for you.
It was awesome. I loved that thing, and it was taken from me.
Oh.
A friend I knew, I brought it to their house. We hung out, and then fell asleep watching movies. I got up and left and never got it back from them, even though I asked. So I guess I left it there. It was my fault.
Well, I'm feeling like maybe I didn't buy it for you then. I feel like I did, though. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to claim it but I feel like I did buy. Anyway.
I think I view you as the grandmother of the paranormal. You were doing this before it was glamorous, before it was popular, and you have stood the test of time. It's amazing.
Thank you. And I'm still just as active. I'm very much involved, and I really love it. I love doing
this, and she was, because this was before she had even started doing the movies. Like, she hadn't even gotten involved in the movies yet. So
She wasn't involved in the Amityville movies?
No, I don't think she actually was. Like, did they consult with her?
Well, the people that lived there consulted with them when everything was going on.
Movies, because like when they actually made the Conjuring movies, she was consulted and she was in on the movies, helping them make up. And so I don't think she was, but maybe I could be wrong. But anyway, this was before the Conjuring movies then. Okay. People really don't know her too well from the Amityville. I think most of people these days know her from the Conjuring. A Haunting. Remember A Haunting in Connecticut too?
No, I haven't seen any of those. I saw the Amityville movies, but I haven't seen any of these new ones.
Oh, really? Yeah, this was before Connecticut came out, because first she started working on A Haunting in Connecticut because we interviewed the lady from A Haunting in Connecticut as well. So
okay.
We need to pull out all these old interviews.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I would be
absolutely lost without it. And in order to really continue my university work, which I do, it would be difficult for me to do that and not do research.
Right.
So I have to stay, I have to stay on board with the research, which I do enjoy. And I feel, there's really no changes. I can't say that anything has really changed regarding how haunting phenomena occurs. It stays on pretty much of a steady path. I mean, people still open doors in the same way to that world. Some people don't see the need to have any religious association, and that is very, very difficult, because when you go in and you investigate these homes and you witness the phenomena going on, you see how frightened the people are. But the only way, after you can actually document what is there and what is going on, the only way that you can possibly help is through the clergy.
Yeah.
As researchers, we can't help. It requires, an ordained clergyman of God to go in and to.
I actually disagree with her on that. I feel like the only way you can help a person is by working with their faith. It could be God if that's their faith, but I feel like if they're Native American, then you need to work with that. If they're Wiccan, you need to work with that. If they're Jewish, do you know what I mean? Are you there?
Sorry, I forgot my mic was muted and I was talking. I absolutely agree with you on that. You wouldn't want to, come with a Catholic priest to indigenous people and try and do that there. You definitely want to go with whatever religion that the person is.
Did you go out with me on that when we went out to the Native American site? That was what?
Yes, that was like an amazing experience. Yes.
Us bringing the priest out to that would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, exactly.
For those that don't know, there was a Native American place that they had their ceremonies, and a spirit would steal keys and take it down the road, and we went out and we investigated that spot. So
yeah, and they rededicated the spot. They went through with the sage and the prayers, like at every corner, basically, of the property, because it had just been given back to them. The Potawatomi Indians, that's what they were. Potawatomi.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, they just got back the property, and so they were rededicating it back to their tribe.
Wow.
And remember, they had us investigate it before the rededication, and then they had us do it again afterwards.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we got like significantly less reactions after it was rededicated.
Yeah.
It was a cool experience.
I think we even got some EVPs from the first we first went the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was interesting.
Put whatever the spirits are at rest. If we're dealing with human spirits,
Right.
if we're dealing with the inhuman spirits, then we definitely need that. And it doesn't matter what the religion is, but it is important that the people have faith.
Yeah, so a higher power must be involved in order to clear them.
In order to really bring closure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can stay with the family. You can tell them things that they can do that will help them to find peace. But in the end, in order to really have closure, it does require the clergy.
Right.
And when people say, when some of these research groups think they can do it, they can't. There's no way you can do it without that. You may put stuff at bay for a short period of time, but you will never bring closure.
Right.
Until there is some sort of a blessing, whether they're, whether they're Christians, whether they're Jews, whether they're Muslims. Every religion, has in its rights exorcism things. Like, for instance, just before it collapsed in 2001, we were working with Buddhist monks in the mountains of Japan. It was fascinating.
Wow.
It was fascinating. It was so, it was different than working with the Christian community. Much different than working with them, but it was successful. So every great religion has a way of dealing with this. And you can't go in, say you go into a Jewish home and you have a priest with you. This isn't going to help matters.
Right.
You have to have someone who is going to
basically saying what I just said, that you can't go into a Jewish home with a priest, and it makes no sense. But I get it. I wish that this was an actual interview, like I could ask new questions.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Understand the faith of this particular family.
So I've always agreed with that. I agree that, because whenever I go into a home, I ask what their faith is, because if you go in trying to do a Native American ceremony in a Christian home, it's just not going to work, because a lot of it is with what the homeowners themselves believe.
Exactly. It's their faith. So we have to respect their faith.
Mm-hmm.
And try, if we can, to rid the house through their faith. I mean, sometimes you can do it with prayer, but most of the time it requires a blessing or an exorcism by the clergy. In most cases, it does. Wow. I'm dealing with a case right now, and the family has no religion, none. And
so how do you deal with that?
It's very hard, hon. It's very difficult. There's children, and it's
Oh.
very, very difficult. So I'm trying.
Do you think that maybe going at it from like a psychological level is where they're at?
No, they're not. I mean, they don't believe in religion, and we've ran into that in many cases. Sometimes you can get an open-minded clergyman to go in, and you can tell them, we think this family needs faith to get rid of what's there.
Right.
But you don't know. It isn't always. Right now, I'm still working with the family because I haven't found anybody as yet. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to help them.
Right.
Because you have to find an avenue where you can. You just can't leave them, astray and say, there's nothing I can do to help you. You don't have faith.
Right.
No, you can't.
Because you have to show faith as much as you want them to have faith.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have to set the example.
So, Lorraine, have you noticed over time that there are more paranormal experiences, or do you think it's a natural ebb and flow, or are we really coming to the end times, or you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I don't think we're coming to the end times. I think that I see a balance between the human and the inhuman hauntings. I see a very definite balance. But I think I think they stay about the same amount. We do know this for sure, that during the Lenten season on the Christian calendar and during the season of Advent of Christmas is when you get the worst cases.
Oh, my goodness.
And I certainly have had my share. I am going to be very happy when Easter Sunday arrives.
Yeah.
Very happy when Easter Sunday.
Always stuck with me that she said, you know, you think it's around Halloween that it is, but it's really not. It's around Easter time.
Right, Easter and Christmas. That's baffling, but it makes sense, I guess.
It would make sense. Because she mentions that Jesus rose again during this time. So yeah. And that obviously born during that time.
I mean, we may be still seeing snow flurries here and like that, but I think it will start to let up. It started that first week of Lent.
Yep. Well, you know, Amy, I got 3 or 4 messages about things really getting stirred up, and it was about that time too.
You know, I think I did get, I have a woman who writes me often. I tried to get her help, but she is, it's funny enough, Mrs. Warren, she said, oh, well, I'll just contact Lorraine Warren. And I'm just like, okay, you do that, or, you know, whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Unbelievable. People would say stuff to me like, well, I'll just contact Lorraine. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I'm sure she has plenty of time to help you with your problem.
Okay, so we're going to stop it here. If you guys want to watch the whole interview or listen to the whole interview, we have it in our archive, and I will also put it over in the show notes. So today we're going to be talking about the home that she was actually calling us from, which is this home right here, the Warren Occult Museum. Let me make sure it's up on the screen. Yeah, the Warren Occult Museum, which I didn't know this, but you know, it was closed before Lorraine even passed away.
When did she pass away?
When did she pass away? Was it 2019? Let me see real quick.
Oh yeah, it was closed before that, long before that.
April 18th, 2019, she passed away.
Yep. It was definitely closed down long before that. I think 2000 they received a cease and desist around 2016.
Oh, okay.
But before that, they were even told they can't do it. Yeah. Oh, we got that information for later. Yeah. Unless you want me to talk about it now.
So this is the museum that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to introduce the comedian Matt Rife, and the now legal guardian of the Annabelle doll, plus Ed and Lorraine Warren's entire haunted collection. The comedian and his friend purchased, but do not legally own, the paranormal investigator's home museum entire artifact collection. So this is him. Had you ever heard of this comedian before?
Nope, not at all. Nor his friend Elton something. Haven't heard of him.
Yeah, I had watched him a little bit. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's funny, but he is one of those comedians that is really into. I'm trying to get it up. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Here it is. Ah! My laptop, my computer's acting really weird. We've got storms passing over, so it's glitching and acting weird. Okay, so what's the deal with people seemingly turning on Matt Rife? So saw a pretty popular Hank Green tweet supposedly about him criticizing him, basically trying to pander to the anti-cancel culture crowd. Just curious when this happened and what the actual deal is. I've seen some Matt Rife clips, and it seems like he mostly just did crowd work and was pretty popular. So people complain because they think he's like a sellout. He has been on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talked about he went to the ghost hunting at the Conjuring house. So let's watch a little clip of this. Make sure it's up on the screen for you.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What have you experienced? Have you ever had like an absolute moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm in the presence of a poltergeist?
Still not 1,000%. I've definitely witnessed things that I cannot for the life of me explain that have creeped me out. The timing has been impeccable. I've seen things move that there's just no fucking way that they've moved. I've gotten answers back on EVPs, but for me, it is one of those things I do need to see it.
Isn't an EVP like a radio though?
No, EVP is just a recorder.
It's a recorder. What's that radio thing? I'm sorry then. What is the one where they like listen?
There's a bunch of different names.
My daughter's heavily into this shit.
What does she watch?
Heavily. Sam and Colby.
You had them on, right?
Yes.
So
great guys.
So I met these other guys. There's another channel called the Overnight Channel who are equally as popular as Sam and Colby, and they actually used to work together. And I believe they split off and each do their own thing. But that's who I started going with. So I'm very familiar with those guys.
So these kids, the Sam and Colby guys, just went into the Conjuring house.
I was just there, maybe a month and a half ago.
You went into the Conjuring house
by
too?
myself, Joe.
Okay. Do you believe that there's something going on in that house? The Conjuring movies are fucking great.
It's my favorite franchise.
They're fun. And there's so many of them. They really did it right. Like if you want to be smart, they branched off with The Nun. They branched off with Annabelle.
And I love the way they tie in the story of each one to make it all one chronological story. It's genius.
Yeah.
I will say I wasn't as scared as I've been in a lot of places we've been. There is some kind of solace to the house, but you get to know the history of it, and it does make sense that there'd be something here. I mean, it's on some ley lines of water underground. There was war spot there. There's apparently bodies buried on the property in the walls of the property structures and stuff. There's a lot of history that goes into it that just makes for kind of the perfect storm for some creepy shit. But I didn't witness anything that was that insane. Some items moved, some cars rolled off of the children's dressers a couple of times on cue. And that's the one thing I do pride ourselves in these videos is so often we get absolutely nothing because we don't fake anything. So you only get to see the highlights. Like there's so many times we'll go to a place that is so notoriously haunted and we'll be there for 10 hours and get absolutely nothing. And it sucks. But that makes when something does happen that much more valuable. It's so much more impressive.
What do you think? So do you think a ghost is like the soul of a person that's left behind? Or do you think the ghost is almost like space and time because of a horrible incident contain a memory? And like that memory is almost like it like shows up in current time sometimes. There's a guy named Rupert Sheldrake. I forget what his field of study is, but he had this theory about things, and he believes that objects contain memories.
Oh, interesting.
And he's not the only one that
inanimate objects.
Yeah, that things contain memories. And this is
what a lot of people say recently, like objects are energy, so that's how it contains memories. Have you heard that?
Yes, I have heard that. I don't know that I believe in it, but yeah, I have heard that.
You have heard it. And so he's not the only person that has purchased this house, and they really haven't purchased the house. They've purchased the rights to it for 5 years. But there's also one other person, Elton Casti, who went in with this comedian to purchase the home. Or it's not even purchase, it's just more like a contract of sorts for 5 years.
Yeah, they're guardians of everything, and they can. Do they benefit off of it financially?
Oh, they would have to. I thought we would take a quick look at this video. She explains a little bit about it because one of Lorraine and Ed Warren's grandsons were very upset about all of this because he was saying, like, you're basically selling my family legacy away. And he was very unhappy about it. But then there was a live that they did. Matt Rife and Elton did a live together where they announced the haunted house and their plans. It's a 4-hour long live. We obviously cannot cover it all tonight, but there is this quick short video here where she breaks it down for you, and I thought we would listen to it, really some of it, and we can go from there, and then we'll go into the zoning and the object themselves. Let me get it going faster. Okay. Oops, hold on, I've got the wrong thing up.
Oh, sure.
Say something real quick. Like, this is interesting to see as somebody who has made paranormal content. I've always said, and I'll give you some insight here. Here's a cheesemate. Here's a tea. I feel like the paranormal space, it is such a hard community to feel like you belong in, to feel collective. Sure, there's some positive things, but honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons why I've stopped really making as much paranormal content. Like, yeah, I do ghost stories.
I will have to agree with her. The paranormal community is a tough community. There's a lot of competition, a lot of backstabbing. I haven't considered myself a part of it for a very long time. Hi, Laura Lynn. It's so good to see you. I love you back. LK, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Your support means everything to us. So, yeah, have you been part of the paranormal community?
No, I pretty much dropped out of it shortly after I moved up here to Kalamazoo. That would have been, I don't know, 2009, 2010.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I saw somebody over on TikTok talking about how the paranormal community was hard to deal with, and I was like, oh man, it's such a bummer. Like, I didn't expect that it would have gotten much better, but I kind of was hoping. But yeah, I guess it's the same. So
yeah,
content, but
sorry,
that's part of the reason why I'm no longer in the paranormal community, because, well, I am now. I guess I'm back in it, but I fell away because of all the ugliness and the backbiting in the community, and I was sick of it.
Yeah, I will never do it again. That's how I learned to just stay out of shit. Just like stay in your own lane, and I don't care if you're successful. Good. I'm if I'm successful, good. So it's just, yeah.
Yep.
Am I like eager to collaborate with other paranormal groups?
I'm gonna move it
out that people were leaving Raggedy Ann dolls on, I believe, Ed's final resting place, or both Ed and Lorraine's resting place, and how he felt like that was very disrespectful, considering that Lorraine and Ed were very serious about the Annabelle doll. In his perspective.
Okay, so she's talking about the grandson some more. He was very unhappy with the way the community was reacting to all of this. People were literally trying to break into the museum and stuff. He was very unhappy, which I get.
Yeah.
And to see that is such a slap on the face. Anyway, so then he adds on. He says, for me, this is deeply personal. My grandparents weren't just paranormal investigators. They were my anchors. I remember riding my bike to their house as a kid. I remember my grandmother making me toasted tomato and cheese on rye. That sounds really good. I remember holidays spent there, the quiet wisdom they shared, and the unshakable sense of duty they felt to protect people from what they couldn't always see or understand. I've lived in over 100 places around the world, but that house, that museum, was the one constant in my life. I wasn't consulted. I wasn't involved. And for years now, I've often been misunderstood, called things like narcissistic or attention seeking, but that's never been who I am. And I want to add something, you guys. So I really didn't understand how he is the grandson to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I genuinely was just asking because I'm like, they only have one daughter. The kids are anonymous. It's never stated that he is their kids. But yet he shows up in the Lorraine obituary. So I was like, okay, so there's still truth to this. So I don't know why he's been called these things, but just something I wanted to add on. And then there's like the final note of what he says. I don't want to be famous. I want to help people. I want to honor the responsibility my grandparents entrusted to all of us to protect the living, respect the dead, and never turn the sacred work into a spectacle. I don't know what comes next, but I know.
So he was very upset of everything that was happening. And then they had this like 4-hour live where they talk a little bit more about it.
Coming. Wow, already. Yeah, this is that's crazy. I didn't think I was gonna hit that. Oh, this is gonna.
The live stream of Elton Castee, who wasn't mentioned on this, by the way, but he did make a live stream 3 days ago from when I'm recording this, and 2 days ago this was posted from what I saw. So that's important to note. Elton Castee, he is a YouTuber. He also purchased the house with Matt Rife. I know Matt Rife is getting a lot of attention. I did watch the first hour of the live stream, and I think the live stream really addresses the concerns of Ed and Lorraine Warren's grandson, Chris McKennell. So I'm going to be highlighting a couple of things from the live stream that was recorded within the first hour. And so that is good enough to cover for this segment because he talks about a couple of things that I'll be walking you guys through, which is the emotional tie to the house, the misconceptions, like what was really purchased versus what's currently staying with Tony and Judy, and then also talking about how the future plans and all the work that they did to make sure that they were in agreement with the city or the town. Then they talk about, there's a couple of guests, which is Tony Spera. I know someone on my last video talked about, I wonder what Tony has to say after all of this. And then there's also skepticism of like, Tony would never give up these things so easily. So he was in the live stream. He makes it at the 1 hour mark. And then there's also a caretaker who talks about these sentiments with Dan Rivera. And in my last video, I also talked about how from an outsider, it does feel and it does seem like the purchase came right at a very convenient time from the death of one of the members of NESPR, and who was like the driving force of the Annabelle tour and all this stuff. So I'm going to be covering that because that was covered in the first hour. So let's watch a clip.
Wholeheartedly, 1,000,000% believe this is the most haunted house in the world. That's what I believe. I am. And I think anyone that disagrees with me, you're going to be corrected. And
so he cries, he makes a statement, a very bold statement, one that definitely gives your money for a run, right? Because now you want to visit the most haunted place in America or in the world.
I want this to be the ultimate paranormal investigation experience location on the planet.
Anybody who books a place to stay here, because as of right now, they're going to be running this place like an Airbnb with a maximum of 8 people who are able to stay.
You can investigate this house every night up to 8 people. 8 is the max. I mean, you want to rent it out by yourself? Sure, but 8 is the maximum occupancy that we can have here. Okay.
Now, he did talk about the purchase and how that went down. He states that
Matt and I have purchased Ed and Lorraine's house, which is what this property is. It includes the museum, because the museum is a building that is attached to the house. As far as the items go, Tony and Judy still own all of the artifacts.
So for those of you that were skeptical or like, what the heck, they just gave everything away to strangers, fret not, because it's still a part of the family. So in a way, it is kind of addressing the Warren Legacy Foundation's concerns a little bit, not entirely, but there's still something there to be said, right?
We've already done this, be able to invest in making really custom, really big, really cool, unique, one of a kind in the world paranormal investigation tools.
That's going to be very interesting.
Okay. So those are the people that are planning on purchasing or leasing, or what's the word that they're calling it?
Guardianship?
Yeah, they've become guardians of the museum, and they're going to run it kind of like a B&B. But see, the problem that they've had all this time are the zoning issues, right?
Right. So the neighborhood is residential. It's zoned residential. And what they were running into is that there would be people there all hours of the night, especially close to like Halloween time. And they would be, searching for it, knocking on the neighbors' doors, asking them where it was located or why it wasn't open. People were throwing trash everywhere. And, most importantly, they were parking on all the streets, and they were already narrow streets. And so they couldn't get they wouldn't be able to get a fire truck down the streets because they were taking up all the space. And, because it was a residential area, there's no parking lot for people to park in. And so, they started getting citations. Citations turned into a cease and desist letter. They've gotten multiple cease and desist orders, and they tried to fight it. But basically, the town was like, no, you can't have a museum here. You can't do that. You can't do these things and charge people for it. So not only are they turning the house itself into a B&B, but they're getting commercial space in the downtown area of their town to house the museum artifacts.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Yes, it is a good idea. And they've started building things for safe transport of the items. And so I think they're going to do a good job. They're definitely going to be making money hand over fist, because I'm sure that people are going to run it out. Who wouldn't? Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't. But
I think back in the day, I might have tried to do a group thing, gotten a group, tour or something for us to do together or something. I might have tried to do that.
Oh yeah, back in the day. But now that I'm old, I'm just like, why mess with that? Why mess with all that stuff? Because all that energy is not going to go to the new commercial property for the new museum. There's going to be stuff that lingers there. Why do you want to be there if it's all lingering?
Yeah, no, I don't want to be around that stuff anymore, but I can see people are still wanting to go and do paranormal investigations and stuff like that. I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, that me messing with all of that back in the day contributed to my illness and how sick I actually did get. Because I had all these old people's, I get older people's diseases. I was having pulmonary embolisms, I had back surgery, I had a stroke, I just really feel like I messed with something I shouldn't have.
I can see that, Amy, because you you took care of yourself. There was no reason that you should have gone through all that.
No. And, and it's weird to think that at one point in my life, I was bed bound in a wheelchair and using a walker, and I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I don't have to do any of that anymore.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I think people don't realize how intense our earth energy really is. So,
yeah. So that's the zoning. The community hates them.
The community hates them. Okay.
Not them, but people are ridiculous. People will travel there from New Jersey, all over, and just it's not even open, and they go traipsing through the neighbors' properties trying to find. No. People
always go too far. People always take things too far. Ruin it for everybody else.
Yep.
So I thought we could talk about some of the haunted objects, because we talk about Annabelle all the time, but there's more than just Annabelle.
Yes. There are some really creepy ass things in that museum. Let me get my notes out. So
let me get your notes.
Huh?
Okay. Which one do you want? Are we going down the list? Are we starting with the organ that plays itself?
Yeah, we're going to start with the organ. I did that because that was the only one from that one article. So I didn't want you to have to keep going back and forth between articles and stuff.
Which one was the Haunted Realm article? Is it this one?
Yes. Yep. This is the haunting realm. Yep.
Okay.
That's the only one from that article, which it was a really good article. It was better than any of the other ones I read, but it didn't have a lot of pictures. And so,
So the organ is the musical instrument is said to play by itself. Ooh.
Yes. Yep.
Where is the organ? There it is. No, is that satanic? There's the
even
organ.
a picture of it. Yeah.
So this seemingly ordinary musical instrument holds a chilling secret. The organ is said to play by itself, often in the middle of the night, filling the museum with eerie, unbidden music. The Warrens believe this organ is haunted. Its spontaneous melodies, a manifestation of the spirits that inhibit it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not showing up on your screen.
Oh, it's not? Oh.
Nope. It still has the Annabelle has new owner.
Oh, sorry, guys. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so, I mean, something I read when one of the articles I read, it said that it was previously owned by a priest who's now deceased, and they think that he's haunting it. I don't know. You think a priest would, like, want to be in heaven when he was done, but who knows?
Yeah, seems very strange that a priest would haunt an organ. Although, I mean, maybe he just enjoys playing the organ.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That could just be it.
I haven't found anything that says that there's evil in the organ. It's just, it's haunted and it plays by itself. That's just, and it stops if anyone like comes to check out what's going on. It'll stop before they get to the room.
Well, isn't that how haunted organs go? They're just so tricky that way.
Those sneaky guys.
What's the next one?
The next one is the toy monkey, which was actually in, according to what I read, that's in the Screen Rant article. Screen Rant.
Screen Rant? I don't think you gave me a Screen Rant. You gave me the Monroe Sun. You gave me the 10 terrifying artifacts from Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum. That's a video, and then you gave me this. You gave me 3.
No, I gave you 5 altogether. I gave you 2 Monroe Sun articles, and then the 3. I remember going through and counting them and make sure I sent everything.
Yeah. But I asked you to give them to me so I didn't have to go through, and you gave me 3. And that's all I have is the 3. So can you just tell me what it is? Can you just describe it? Or
okay, my whole reason. Yeah, sure. The toy monkey. It was featured in a couple of the Conjuring movies. But basically, it's possessed by a demon that likes to stalk and then kills its victims. But it stalks them first before it kills them. That is a horrifying thing. The next one, there's a vampire coffin, which has like a face on it. They say it's the face of a vampire, but I don't know. It doesn't really look to me like anything in particular, just a face. But it says that it was previously used recently by a modern vampire. I don't know what that means. Modern vampire. If he's like a legit vampire or if I don't know. But yeah, there's that. Then there's a music box that was featured in one of the movies. And in the movie, it contained, I think, a spirit of a boy, it said. But it contains an evil spirit. And Lorraine brought that back from where they got it from. They brought it back to their home. But a lot of people that know about those kind of things say that it's not contained properly, and that the evil spirit can get loose anytime.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
And that's
So,
all in the basement, and you just want to hang out in that house. Gosh.
right,
I
exactly,
heard
exactly.
that's why the daughter like never wanted to really stay at the house because she just felt so uncomfortable with knowing all of that was in the basement.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to either. Okay, and then there's tombstones there, specifically children's tombstones, and they say the Warrens said that they were used in satanic rituals, and that they actually believed that the satanic people killed the children first, which was part of the ritual. And then once they were buried, then they went and stole their tombstones and finished the ritual up on the tombstones. I don't know how she knows that, but uh, that's what she said. And then the next one, this one's exciting. It's a brick. Does that excite you? Yeah, a brick. It's a brick from the Borley Rectory in the UK. Now, I actually saw a documentary on this, and that kind of intrigued me. It almost made me want to go see it, but it was the Borley Rectory was the most haunted building in the UK until it burned down in 1939.
Oh,
And then, yeah, yep, and then it was completely torn down. The rest of it several years later, but the night that it burned down, there were over 2,000 reports of paranormal activity going on while it was burning, including floating bricks floating around in the air. So I don't know if this was one of the floating bricks, but it could be. It could be one of them.
Floating bricks in the air. That would be terrifying if I saw a brick floating in the air. Like, yeah.
It would be, yeah. Okay, and then the next one, they have the pearls of death. The pearls of death are cursed to strangle whoever wears them. And in fact, the most recent owner, she was wearing them and they started to choke her. And the people around her had to rip them off her body in order to make it stop. And so they contacted the Warrens and they came and got them. And they keep them in an open container in the museum, but they're surrounded by rosaries and other religious artifacts to keep them in check. I don't know why the container would be open. Why, Lorraine? Why would that container be open? That's what I would have asked her.
Why is a good question.
Yeah. Okay. The next item I want to talk about is the Conjuring mirror. Now, this was not in the Conjuring movies. That's not why it's called a Conjuring mirror. It was just used to conjure or summon spirits, evil spirits or good spirits. And most recently, there was a man from New Jersey who sat in the dark in front of the mirror for 2 weeks just to try to contact his deceased family members. And it ended up driving him crazy. He had to go into an asylum after it showed him monstrous demonic faces.
Wow.
So, yep. And Lorraine went and had to go get that because it they had to do a reverse conjuring to stuff all the spirits back in it.
Thank you. No.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the last two I have are, to me, some of the creepier ones, and they were in that video. So if you want to go to that video, we can start with the shadow doll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 3, the shadow doll. When it comes to creepy dolls, I'll be honest, it doesn't take much to freak me out. But with that being said, there is definitely a very good reason why the shadow doll is one of the most feared possessions in the entire museum. Now, what starts off this seemingly endless list of creepy things about this doll is that there is no definitive answer as to why it was created or who created it. But according to Ed and Lorraine's files, it was made using both human and animal bones and was absolutely used in satanic rituals. So it is definitely possessed by some less than ideal company. Said to have been found in an antique shop by a couple, they began to think something was wrong after they kept waking up night after night covered in inexplicable scratches. But it wasn't until the doll began showing up in their nightmares, telling them that she was going to kill them, that they decided to get rid of the terrifying toy. And good thing they did too. Legend has it that if someone takes a picture of this doll, she will visit you in your dreams and kill you in your sleep. Just one more reason to never trust a creepy doll. Coming in at number...
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And perfect.
So what people do is they take a picture of the doll and then they write on the back of the picture the curse that they want it to do. And then they send it to the person that they want to be cursed, the picture.
Oh, that can't be good for your soul.
No, exactly. Yeah. All right. So that was creepy. And so like that dog goes into your dreams and tries to kill you in your dreams. And finally, this is a satanic idol. And it was found in the woods around Sandy Hook. Yeah. So
the right one. Is it not? Wait, no. You said 9:55.
Yeah, it's the next one.
A satanic idol. As the story goes, in 1991, a hunter was walking through the woods on the lookout for deer when he began to feel an overwhelming sense of paranoia, like he was being watched or something. At that very moment, he turned around to see this creepy doll leaned up against a tree, staring at him, and he could have sworn that it appeared out of nowhere. Immediately, the hunter knew he should not be here, and so he began walking as quickly as he could to find a way out of the forest. Then suddenly, an old man dressed in all black robes appeared beside him. He looked like a priest, the hunter thought, but something wasn't quite right. Every step he took, the priest matched him, and eventually he became so freaked out, he actually debated shooting at the priest with his arrow to scare him off. But instead, he decided to ask the priest how to get out of the forest. But creepily, the priest did not speak. Instead, he pointed off into another direction, turned around, and left the man alone once again. Now, luckily, the hunter escaped, and the following day, after telling his friends the strange events, they suggested that he reach out to Ed and Lorraine. Upon telling them his story, they explained that the priest was a well-known leader of a satanic cult, and that the creepy doll he had encountered was actually an idol used for ritual purposes. However, the Warrens, being who they were, wanted to get this idol for the museum, and so Ed ventured into the forest, found the doll, and brought it back home. Soon after, however, strange things began happening. Allegedly, one time Ed was speaking with Lorraine, turned away for a second, looked back, and she was suddenly 30 feet away and passed out on the ground. He called the ambulance, and she spent the next 3 days in hospital, in and out of consciousness. And according to Ed, she actually levitated while in the hospital. The Warrens always firmly believed that the satanic priest was working through the doll Ed had taken from the forest and was trying to punish them for taking it. Let's just hope no one was ever hospitalized after that. And last,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that thing is huge. It's not just like a doll. It's like people sized, and it's creepy. AF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird story. Where do they get this? Like, I don't know if I believe about the priest or the thing. Where did they get that story from? How did they come about that story? I want to know. I'm such a skeptic. Tell me the story. How did they figure out that the doll was a woodsman and all that?
But the doll wasn't a woodsman. It was an idol, a satanic idol.
Yeah. How did they figure that out? That it was a satanic idol? How did they figure it out?
Well, I don't know. They're the demonologists.
Yeah, that's right. They're not even here to tell us. So
yeah, that would have been something else we could have asked her.
I know. What do you guys think? What do you think about all of this? Do you believe? I know that some people don't even believe that Ed and Lorraine Warren, half the stuff that they said were true. I know, like, some people maybe believe that they stretched the story on some things. So I don't know. Maybe that one felt like a stretch story to me, but maybe not.
Well, they were definitely playing the long game.
Yeah.
If they were making everything up, they were playing the long game, and they succeeded.
Yeah. I mean, there was a whole set of those people, because remember Hans Holzer and we talked to Alexandria Holzer a few times on the show, and her father was Hans Holzer, and he was kind of a paranormal, and he worked with psychics, and there was a whole group of people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s that were doing that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes in spurts. Turn of the century, they were really into that kind of thing. Look at Houdini, you know. So I think it goes in spurts.
Houdini's nephew or grandson or something even came around in around 2008 and 10 and hit the paranormal scene. Remember that?
No.
Oh. Yeah.
Did he do well?
He used to message me quite a bit. I think he made it a little bit. He's still out there somewhere, but yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where did I get woodsman? I thought it said that he was a woodsman, that they found it in the woods.
Yeah, the guy was out there hunting or looking for hunting spots or something, because he had his arrows with him. His bow and arrow. Because he was going to shoot an arrow at the priest. And I like how he went home and told his friends about it, and they're all like, you need to call Ed and Lorraine.
I'm just going to contact Lorraine. You knew that.
It worked for him.
Yeah, right?
Oh, Lorraine.
Well, that was really good, Shannon. Great work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, I will see you next week then.
All right, sounds good.
I forgot to pop over. Let's pop over to chat real quick and see what people are saying. Let's see. Gross. Forgot what we were into when it was gross. I just like going on overnight ghost hunting. Yeah, I mean, we did a few of those. We did a few of those.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was, but we were in our 30s, so
No.
I did it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, once I stopped being able to stay up all night long, then it became a problem for me.
I did a deep dive into Chris and Tony and learned you left us hanging, Carrie.
Yes, she did. But whatever she learned, she wouldn't go there, so I don't blame her.
Oh, I wouldn't go there. I do go to Gettysburg and Trans-Allegheny. I've never been to any of the asylums. Have I been? I say that, and maybe I have, but I don't think I have. We went to some place in Canada and investigated a place there. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to any hospitals. Have you?
No, I have not. We drove by. There was a state hospital here in town, and we drove by it once, but we never went in. They kept it heavily patrolled in that era because people were breaking.
To go to the Outlook Hotel, the one in Colorado that Stephen King was at.
Oh, from The Shining?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to something like that. I would still do something like that. Yeah, I would do something like that.
I think I would too, because it's a hotel. Yeah, that would be.
You got to be at a hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a video once of this guy who was he was by himself investigating. Don't do that. Luckily, he was a big burly guy, okay? And so he came across like people I think it was some sort of asylum or a hospital or something. And they were just like, just the homeless people living in there, and they would pop up and frighten him, and I don't know. It's a good reason not to go investigate by yourself.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some videos where there's people in like just squatting. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon, I had a lot of fun tonight.
I know, I did too. It was a lot of work, but it was very satisfying.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
Mama, I'll see you next week.
All right, everyone. Bye, Amy. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Shannon. Okay, guys, be sure I want to say thank you to Laura Lynn for being a member for 11 months. I love you back. Thank you so much, LK, for your super sticker. And also, guys, don't forget that we have a sponsor tonight, Wild Deodorant. We have it pinned, and if you want to support us, you can go and I'm trying to pull it up, but I can't see it. Hold on a second. There it is. If you want to support us, you can go to our link and you will get 20% off on your first purchase of Wild Deodorant. And there it is. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really, really, really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a Dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my Dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the Dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you.
I miss my cube, but baby, I had you. Miss my cube, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep.
Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Helps me go out into the algorithm party out there. Bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me.
Hoping for some time with you.